Hey y'all, it's been a little while, haven't made a video in a few weeks. I've been dealing with something for the first time in my entire life, and it's called seasonal depression. And I'm sure many of you guys watching this video are probably like, well yeah, of course, it happens every year, we're used to it. Well, this is my first time I've lived anywhere where it actually gets cold and it means anything. For context, I'm from Florida, and in Florida, even our winters are very mild there. Don't get me wrong, there's days that it gets really, really cold. But for the most part, the sun's still out, and you can still walk around outside. There was a really bad storm that came across the entire United States day before last, and we got about 20 inches of snow. For reference, I live in central Ohio, and this is the first time I've lived anywhere that it snows. So, for me, seeing 20 inches of snow is kind of mind-boggling. It's new to me. It's kind of hard to wrap my mind around it a little bit. So, for the past 72 hours, I've done nothing but eat, sleep, and play Fallout 4 because I can't go outside due to the snow. I can't leave the house because of the weather emergency being a level 3 and the roads being closed. You can literally get arrested for being on the roads, from my understanding. And I also forgot to mention, I work overnights. I work from 9:30 at night till 6:30 in the morning. So when I go to work, it's dark. When I get off of work, it's dark. And I don't hardly see the sun unless I am actively trying to mess up my sleep schedule. If I have to run any errands, like go to the bank or go to the store or go literally anywhere that's open during normal hours, I have to mess up my sleep schedule in order to do it. And it kind of sucks. So, being as this is the first time I've ever dealt with seasonal depression, I wanted to make a video about it because, one, I haven't made a video in a few weeks due to this, and two, I wanted to see what ways there were to maybe mitigate or help this problem. And if anybody that's watching has any ideas on, hey, this has worked for me when I'm dealing with seasonal depression, then feel free to chime in the comment section and let me know, because I'm pretty desperate right now. So let's see what Google has to say about seasonal depression. All right, seasonal depression, or let's see. So I Googled what is seasonal depression, because I'd heard of it, but I'd never really experienced it until now. And my fiance was telling me, oh yeah, you've got seasonal depression, because I've been really just sad and lack of motivation, lack of energy. I haven't been able to go outside and walk around. I haven't really seen the sun a whole lot. And you're talking about a Florida boy who has seen the sun 12 months out of the year, and now you're going to Ohio where you don't really see the sun a whole lot unless you're awake during the day. And even then, a lot of people are working, so they're seeing the sun when they're driving around, but they're oftentimes going to work when it's dark, and same kind of thing, even though they're working during the day. Maybe they'll see the lunch, or maybe they'll see the sun on their lunch break, but for the most part, by the time you're getting off work, I mean, the days are shorter, so it's dark earlier. But I Googled what is seasonal depression, and the AI overview, again, I hate AI, but this feature can be helpful for grabbing whatever bits and pieces are the main meat and potatoes of it and kind of throwing it all together. Not saying it's always accurate, but for the most part, it gives you a gist of what's going on. So it says seasonal affective disorder, SAD, is a type of depression that recurs at specific times of the year, typically starting in late fall/winter and lifting in spring, driven by reduced sunlight and its impact on brain chemicals like melatonin and serotonin. Common symptoms include low energy, social withdrawal, carbohydrate cravings, that's true, and oversleeping. And so I will say I have kind of reclused myself from my friends. It's taking every ounce of energy for me to reach out, and oftentimes it's via text. And I don't have any friends really where I live. I work with people that I'm cool with, but I don't really have friends that I go and I do stuff with and that I hang out with. I haven't really put myself out there either, to be honest with you, but It's because I know that this Ohio chapter is such a short-lived chapter of my life that it doesn't really feel important to me, I guess, right now, because I know I'm not setting down roots here. I know that I'll be in Austin sometime this year, and that's when I'll really want to set down roots and start to make friends and hopefully, find some kind of sense of community again, because it has been really lonely being here in Ohio. The few people that I have tried to make friends with, they kind of were not the greatest people, if I'm being honest with you. Nothing against people in Ohio, but that's just been my experience. So it says key aspects of seasonal depression. When it happens, symptoms usually start in the fall and winter and resolve during spring or summer. Yeah, we kind of talked about that. A less common form involves depression during the summer months. What's interesting about that is my fiance Alicia experienced the opposite of seasonal depression. Because we met in Florida down in Orlando, it doesn't really get cold. I mean, yeah, you'll need a coat a few days out of the year, but it doesn't get cold like it does in other places, especially not like Ohio. She's from the Midwest anyway, so she's used to this to a degree. And when she was in Florida, she experienced the opposite. So when it was warm more times than not, she sort of felt a backward seasonal depression because it doesn't really change seasons there. So where she's used to there being every 3 months a different season, it wasn't really the case in Florida. It doesn't feel like fall when it's fall, and it doesn't really feel like winter when it's winter. By January, it does get a little bit colder, but typically it stays relatively warm. And she felt a seasonal, or I guess I should say an anti-seasonal depression. And I don't know, it's just different how people's brains work, because being from Florida, I didn't really think a whole lot of it. I'm just like, yeah, it's warm and it feels nice. And there's been days where I've worn shorts and flip-flops on Christmas Day. It's pretty normal there. And if you've ever visited Florida, even in like March, it feels like summer. I mean, really, it's like the seasons, I don't want to say they're non-existent because there is a fluctuation, but not like here. It started getting cold. Geez, it was probably October, like mid-October. By I think it was late October, early November this year, it was already starting to snow. I mean, we got it a little bit earlier than I was kind of expecting. Fall felt like it was cut short. I got to see the leaves change for a few weeks, and then it was, all of a sudden it's winter. And it was cool to see the leaves change because I've never experienced that, if I'm being honest with you. In Florida, it's kind of like the leaves are green, and then one day they just kind of all fall off. Or a hurricane comes through and knocks the entire tree over altogether, which I've experienced several times in my life. I'll get into that at a later time. But yeah, it's been an experience. I'll say that. Common symptoms: mood, persistent feelings of sadness, anxiety, guilt, worthlessness, energy/sleep, fatigue, low energy and oversleeping, appetite, increased appetite, specifically craving carbohydrates, and weight gain. Behavior: loss of interest in hobbies, social withdrawal, and irritability. I will say that all these things have been true. Because I sleep during the day, my sleep schedule's been all wonky, and especially last month being December with the holidays, I was having to be awake when I was normally asleep. And I mentioned this in a previous video, but having to go to these family gatherings for Christmas time, it really did a number on me because my sleep schedule was all messed up. I had to be awake when I was normally sleeping, and at night I was supposed to be awake, but I was drowsy and tired, and I don't know, it really messed with my mental health because I wasn't getting good sleep. And getting good sleep is really, really important for our brains, and I don't think we Americans at least value or understand the preciousness of sleep and how important it is for the recovery of our brain and our body. And it really did a number on me last month. It really it fucked me up, to be honest with you guys. As far as the fatigue and low energy that kind of goes with it, oversleeping. When I did get sleep and when I did have days off, I was sleeping more than I should have. Instead of sleeping 7 or 8 hours, I was sleeping 10 or 11 or even 12 hours. And it's not good to get too less sleep, and there's not too much sleep will hurt you too. There's like a weird in between middle ground that you have to try to balance, and it's been difficult. As far as the sadness and anxiety and guilt and worthlessness, like I definitely have felt those at different times. I feel sad more times than I'm not, even though there's really nothing to be sad about other than my current living situation and being unhappy with where I'm at in Ohio. But that's kind of out of my control at this moment, and I know that it's temporary, and I know that in the grand scheme of my life, it's an extremely short amount of time that I'm having to deal with this. So in my mind, I know, like, hey, this isn't really a big deal, but in the moment, it feels like forever, and it feels like this is never going to end, and I'm going to be here forever, and I just, oh my God, this sucks, and it's it's this battling back and forth. It's like playing Pong with my brain. It's like, yeah, it's okay. No, it's not okay. Yes, it's okay. No, it's not okay. And it's hard to snap out of sometimes. And the anxiety part of it, yeah, it's like I feel anxious because I'm stuck in my room and I can't go out anywhere. And if I go outside, it's really cold and I have to deal with snow and I have to wear all these layers, and then I go out there and I start walking around or something in the snow, and then I start sweating, and it's like overstimulating. And for a neurodivergent person, it's like overstimulation with feeling. So like you're hot internally, but it's cold outside, and then you're sweating, and then it's cold, and it's just it's too much. it's too much, and I don't like having to deal with that. So And where I live, it's rural adjacent, so there's not really places to go walk around in. There's a water plant right behind us, and there was a road, which I thought was a public access road, but I've gone and walked back there a few times, and there's like no trespassing signs, and it's kind of sketchy because there's like these trucks that'll drive by, they'll like drive really slow by you and like stare you down, and it's like, dude, I'm just trying to get some exercise. I'm just trying to like get out of my house and walk around, and I can't go walk around on the main road that we live on because there's these big massive like 8-wheeler trucks, or they're like giant dump trucks. They're driving around out there, and like you can get hit and killed on the side of the road. Like it's not, I don't want to mess with that. I'm good. So as far as the eating, I've definitely gained weight because I am not getting as much exercise. I'm not getting as much movement in my daily schedule. When I lived in Orlando, I used to walk damn near every day. Like it was a very walkable place. At least the areas that I lived in. I lived in Winter Park when I first moved there, and then I lived in the hell is it called? Belle Isle, and both of those areas are very walkable. And so I would go, it was mostly at night. I would go because it cooled down during the night a little bit. It was still sticky and hot and humid, but I would go for these long walks, and I would walk like in the neighborhood back and forth 5 miles sometimes. I would clock it to see how far I was walking, but I would just walk around. I would clear my head, and I would talk to myself, and I would talk out these problems, and I would talk to God. And it was really a good time for me to like get out of my head, get out of my room, get out of my living space, get away from everybody. And I miss that. I miss that solitude. I miss having that time to just go be alone, but also active and out of my own mind. And I don't know. I'm really looking forward to when we move to Austin, Texas, being able to experience that again. So, loss of interest in hobbies. I haven't been making videos like I wanted to. I haven't really been playing guitar like I used to all the time. I haven't really been doing a whole lot of anything. I kind of just watch TV and I play video games. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I have played Fallout 4 a lot. Many, many hours the past few days. Probably an unhealthy amount the past few days. And it's because I haven't had the motivation or the drive or the want to do anything else. And then that guilt creeps in, right? That guilt creeps in of like, well, I probably should get off my ass. I probably should go do something. But then it's like, well, what? What am I going to do? I can't leave the house. There's almost 2 feet of snow outside. I can't go walk. I'm going to slip and bust my ass. Like what do you do? And then I don't really have, I've got some like shin high boots that go right like below where your knees at, but I don't have like snow clothes, I guess I'll say. Like I don't know. So yeah, that guilt creeps in of like, I feel shitty about myself, but what can I do to mitigate it? So that's why I'm making a video. Like, I figured, hey, I'll talk about this, and maybe other people have experienced this and have some things that have worked for them, and they'll share. And so I want to talk about the next thing I'm going to Google here is going to be how to mitigate seasonal depression. And again, I've done nothing to try to make my situation better. So that's kind of why I'm making this video, is hopefully I can figure out what's going to make me feel better and share my experience with you guys, and hopefully you guys have some ideas too. This is interesting. I just saw something that says risk factors. It says gender. It says women are 4 times more likely to experience SAD, seasonal depression, than men. I did not know that. The more you know. The first thing I typed in how to, and it says how to combat seasonal depression. Let's see what it says. To combat seasonal depression, use light therapy, get daily sunlight, even on cloudy days, exercise regularly, maintain a consistent sleep schedule, eat nutritious meals, stay socially connected, and talk to a healthcare provider about therapy or medication if needed. As far as the light exposure thing, like I said, it's hard to be outside right now because the cold, the snow, and my sleep schedule. I normally sleep during the day. It's not that I wanted to work an overnight job. It's what I could find. It's what I could find that would work with my current situation. My fiance and I live together, and we share a car, and we have to kind of work together because of that. And so this is the job that would work for both of us with everything else, all the other factors involved. The job market in Columbus, Ohio it's not great. My background is in the production and entertainment industry. It's doing AV work, specifically with audio. And that's what I did when I lived in Orlando, Florida. There is no work for that here. This is not a tourist city. It's like in Orlando, the people go there because there's Mickey Mouse, right? Mickey Mouse lives there. And so everybody wants to go to Orlando to experience the theme parks. And because of that, they have all these hotels and convention centers and stuff. And a lot of companies, a lot of major like Fortune 500 companies will do their conventions there, and they'll have like a multi-million-dollar convention, and they'll have all their employees from all over the world come to Orlando, Florida, and they'll all stay there. And so they need people to like run these shows. They need people to set them up, to run them, to tear them down. And so that's what I used to do. I used to also do concerts. I used to work in the music industry, part of it too, doing like stagehand work, like setting up shows. And there's not really any of that here. And what little bit there is, they're not actively hiring, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is like I've applied for these jobs, the 2 or 3 that I saw, and I never heard anything back. So I took whatever bullshit retail job I could find. It's not what I want to be doing, but I've learned a lot. I've gained a lot from it. I've been trying to make the best out of it, but working overnights is not really my choice of what I want to be doing right now. So I know, again, when I move to Austin, that's going to change. A lot of these things will get fixed when I move to Austin. So this is a very temporary problem, but in my brain, it feels like, oh my God, this is forever. This is permanent. This is never going to go away. Calm down. It will. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. Exercise regularly. Again, walking's my exercise. I'm not a gym bro. I used to do yoga quite a bit, but in my current living situation, there's not really a great time or place to do yoga, and maybe that's me making an excuse, but you can't be in the common areas and other people are there trying to do yoga. And then in your bedroom, it's very small quarters. I have one little like 8 by 3 foot strip of carpet of free real estate in front of my desk here that I guess I could do some yoga, but again, it's tight quarters. Sleep schedule, like I'm trying my best, but again, I'm still kind of recovering from last month. Like December really messed me up. Eat well. I will say, Alicia just made breakfast for dinner, and it was excellent. Oh, it was so good. I love her so much. She's so amazing. It was eggs and bacon and biscuits, all made from scratch, and yeah, she's awesome. So I've been trying to eat as well as I can. So yeah, I don't know. You do what you can, right? And as far as like talk therapy, like I've kind of plateaued with talk therapy a year or 2 ago. As far as the light therapy thing, like I've never looked into that, but I might have to try that. It says use a 10,000 lux light box daily to mimic sunlight and trigger mood-boosting brain changes. Consult a provider for recommendations. Well, instead, I'm going to consult the internet. If any of you guys have a recommendation on a 10,000 lux light box to use daily, please let me know. You can email me at dankpossums@gmail.com, or you can just write a comment and let me know what you guys got. My mother suggested going to a tanning salon, but that's also how she got melanoma skin cancer, and I also had a couple of spots I had to get removed that were precancerous when I was a kid. I'd rather just stay away from that. It doesn't seem like a good idea. But if it's worked for you guys, let me know. I'm open-minded to try anything, but I have some apprehensions about that. And stay social. Make plans with friends and family to stimulate your mind and mood, and don't isolate yourself. Well, I will tell you what, guys. I am the king of isolation. I am the king of being alone. But it's solitude, right? I was raised as an only child, and I've spent probably as much time as I've spent with other people. I've spent equally by myself. That's just how I am. I enjoy my own company. I enjoy being in solitude, but I don't have any friends here in Ohio, but I've been trying to, make an honest effort to text my friends and at least check up on them. And, they all live in Florida, some in Texas, but that even then it's not as connected as going and hanging out, or like going to the bar and getting a beer and talking about life, or, going to, I don't know, what the fuck do people do? Play golf? I really don't know. It's been so long since I've been out and done anything. I haven't gone to any concerts, haven't really done a whole lot of anything in a while, and I think that might be part of my problem here too. But anyways, this video is probably getting a little long, so I'm gonna go and wrap it up here. I just wanted to talk about this for a little while because it's something that's very real, and I never really thought about it until I moved to Ohio, and I'm experiencing it firsthand, and it sucks. It's really bad. I am in more of a chipper mood today, and I've felt more myself today than I have in a while, and so I thought, well, let me make a video and talk about this because hopefully it'll help me. I think it has a little bit, and hopefully somebody who watches this has some kind of recommendation that worked for them. So if you like this video, subscribe, like, do all the things, press all the buttons, do whatever, and I hope to see you guys again soon. I wanted to apologize that I haven't really made a video in a while, but a while being like 3 weeks. For me, that's a long time, because for a while there, I was for a few months, I was consistently putting out a video each week, and I've fallen off that wagon because of this seasonal depression thing, and I'm really looking forward to getting back into this, and I hope that I can do this more, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So I'll see you whenever. Bye.